Listen up, man. You read the title, right? The insecurities of your inner child is what is causing your addictions. Yes, sir. Let me say that again. The insecurities of your inner child is what's actually causing your addictions. You might be wondering, okay, man, where the fuck is this inner child? How do I help him so I can get rid of my addictions? Well, relax. Because your boy's about to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, this is a psychological understanding when you get deeper into your own psyche and your own inner mental framework that will uncover itself as you continue on your development. Your inner child, like I've talked about before, is your pure essence, is your pure form, is who you were before the world told you who you're supposed to be. Let me say that again, because that's a bar right there. Your inner child is your pure essence and your pure form. The person who you were before the world, the matrix, the mind, the illusion told you who you're supposed to be. That is you at your core being, your core essence. That was stripped away from you by all the indoctrination, all the programming, all the tricks and traps within society in general, for you to fit in to the matrix, for you to become a mere cog in the machine. So as you understand that, everything will start to click, that inner child knows your true purpose, knows your true weaknesses, knows your true strengths, and knows your true insecurities. All your insecurities stemmed from that point on. Your brain was essentially like a big pot of Play-Doh. The stuff that you it's like a big putty and you just kind of make shapes and stuff like that with it. That was your brain as you're developing. And whatever your family, your friends, your teachers, social media, because kids nowadays got an iPad at 3-4 years old, society in general plugs into that Play-Doh, is eventually what's going to be molded, hardened, and eventually become your default state of being, your persona, your identity, your ego, which blocks you from your true self and your true essence, and most importantly, causes voids that need to be filled. And those voids are then covered up by coping mechanisms, aka addiction. So hopefully you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down, because that was just a short little summary of it, breaking it down in the most practical sense. You have certain voids that weren't met, certain needs that weren't met during your upbringing. Maybe your parents didn't give you enough love. Maybe you didn't get enough recognition from society, from your friends. Maybe you didn't get this, maybe you didn't get that. Those become holes within your being. And as you grow up and you develop, if you don't realize the only thing that can actually fill up those holes is an internal development of your mind, body, and soul, you're gonna look externally for different means to fill it. And funny enough, those external means will never actually fill the void. It's gonna be a temporary relief of the pain that you're feeling from within due to these insecurities. Think about it like this. When you get sick, there's a certain virus that you must actually address. That virus causes coughing, sneezing, this, that. Those are the symptoms. Most of the times when you go to the doctors and you go to these drugstores, you get medicine that helps address the symptoms, never the root cause. And guess what? You get into that cycle of just getting more meds, going to get more meds, never actually breaking free from the cycle of sickness. This is the same thing that's going on with your addictions. You are chasing for external means, like medicine, rather than internal healing through other modalities and methods. So you're always going to be stuck on the cycle of trying to fill that void, feel that feeling of emptiness within you with things that are futile, with things that are never gonna work, causing addiction, because that's what you've been programmed to believe. I need medicine, I need this, I need that, to fill that void within me, so I don't have to feel as insecure anymore. It don't work. It does not work. You're always gonna be on the hamster wheel, spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning over and over and over and over again, wondering, when am I finally gonna be quote unquote fixed? When are these addictions finally gonna go away? When in reality, you're searching for something in the external world that is simply not the solution. It's like trying to grab water. It can't fucking happen. When you redirect your attention, energy, focus, and intent inwardly and uncover what it was that your inner child was missing, that's when you actually can make the steps towards the right direction. This insecurity of not having enough love from your parents. You go start watching porn, you start doing this, you start doing that. You start hooking up with random people. You start taking drugs, you start drinking alcohol. Insecurities of, see man, when I'm out here spitting game, the feds are on me. Give it a second. But like I was saying, say you have an insecurity of not getting enough attention from your friends, family, and all that stuff. So you start getting addicted to doing crazy things, getting addicted to doing just things that are so out and extraordinary, the way that you dress, the way that you look, the way that you talk, the things that you do, just to be able to get that attention. And you're addicted to that attention. You're always going to be addicted to something, like I said before. But in order for you to break the lower level addictions, you need to go and uncover the truths that are hidden within your inner self, your inner child. Because those insecurities will stay with you like a virus, like a disease, like an overall sickness, a parasite, until you address it face to face, until you confront it one-on-one. You cannot look externally for these types of things. And you've probably done it multiple times. Going to external means to kind of fix that little problem, that feeling of just being in a void within yourself. And guess what? Did it work? Fuck no, it didn't work. So what are you gonna do about it now? Keep going back down that way? Keep hitting your head on that wall? Thinking that something will change? No, that's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, thinking that you'll get a different result. So I'm telling you right now, man, in order for you to truly ascend above your lower level addictions and tap into your quote unquote divine addictions, because like I said before, you're always gonna be addicted to something. Might as well choose consciously what that is. You can't ever break an addiction. All you can do is replace it. In order for you to really do that, you need to understand what it is that's causing you to be addicted to those lower level things. Understand the root cause. Understand the root disease, where it comes from, how it happens, how it's healed, rather than trying to treat the symptoms through futile means. Drinking, drugs, sex, social media addiction, but this, that, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean, man? There's so much, it's a myriad of different addictions out there that people are dealing with, that all stem from their inner child, the insecurities from their inner child. You have to look back on those points in your life that cause you to act in certain ways. Something happened, a cause, which reacted in an effect that has been lingering on. You didn't get enough attention, you started just dressing super weird, this and that, just to be able to get attention. And guess what? As you develop, your mind is like Play-Doh. You get that information that you're not adequate enough to get attention. You need to do all these weird little things to get attention. Then your mind becomes molded into that shape. And guess what? When you get older, that mold hardens up like clay. Not Klay Thompson, clay as in actual pottery clay. Shout out to Klay Thompson. But when that hardens up, James hardens up, we're going with basketball references, when that hardens up, it gets so difficult to break through because now it's ingrained into your subconscious mind. Now it's ingrained into what's called your default mode network. This is why when people have crazy events happen in their life, whether it's through psychedelics, whether it's traumatic experiences, something that's so emotionally charged, that veil in between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, there's like a wall in between the two, a barrier in between the two, shatters, dissolves, breaks. So now you can finally start to see what's within your subconscious mind once and for all. And I'm not telling you you need to have a traumatic event. I'm not telling you you need to take psychedelics in order to do this. I'm not saying any of that, man. I'm just telling you that these things just force it to happen. But you can do it in a much more sustainable and practical manner if you understand the inner workings of your own psyche, the inner framework of your own psyche, and go back to the past and retrace your steps on what caused all of this. When you get sick, when something happens, say you lost something, you have to retrace your steps back on what caused the thing to get lost, what caused you to get sick. That's how you understand how to prevent it next time. Well, for this case, we're not preventing anything, we're actually shifting everything from that beginning point. But in order for our mind to get there, that veil in between the conscious and subconscious mind needs to dissolve, because there's certain triggers, there's certain events, there's certain emotions, and there's certain overall points in your life where your subconscious mind takes it and shoves it into the back of the closet because it was so energetically, emotionally charged for you. It doesn't want to repeat that for you. It wants to keep you safe because you might just go in a state of paralysis, shock, this and that, because it was such a traumatic experience for you, or such a moving experience for you, that you just consciously don't want to deal with it. You need to deal with that head on. Again, example of psychedelics, those substances force you to do it. It like puts you up in a straitjacket and makes you watch that event over and over and over again until you understand the message behind them. Because everything in life, every event, whether good or bad, has a message behind it. And that messaging is gonna help you evolve to your highest self and your highest form. If you don't understand the message, you're going to feel insecure about it and go to your coping mechanisms and cause a cycle of addiction to keep on spinning. This is what 99% of the population is stuck in. I'm not saying I've completely transcended it. I'm just understanding it more and more by the day as I develop with my mind, body, and soul. And I'm trying to give y'all some game for your motherfucking brain so you ain't out here looking like a fucking lame. So you can elevate your game. You dig what I'm saying? Come on now. But as you understand how you get past those barriers between the conscious and subconscious mind through other practices like meditation, like pranayama, like breath work, of course, that's pranayama, but psychological understanding, do these different types of exercises, techniques that some of the greatest psychologists in the world, like Carl Jung, active imagination, Sigmund Freud and his association tests, all that stuff that we talk about within the private Patreon community. Shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. Man, I'm telling you, bro, I'm gonna say this in each and every single video for the people out there so it can click in their mind. If you truly understand and understand, most importantly, about how important these types of topics are of mastering the mind, mastering the body, and overall awakening your soul, then you're truly doing yourself. Yes, you're doing yourself a disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community, because within there you get access to exclusive content where we're going much more in depth and in detail to these topics, along with full guides, occult lectures, and most importantly, if you join up to the Philosopher Circle, aka the highest membership tier within the private Patreon community, you'll be able to tap in to our 2 monthly mastermind live calls. Yes, so we're doing 2 monthly mastermind live calls each and every single month, where you hop on a call with me and a community of like-minded men who are also on the same path of uncovering their true self in order to embody their highest potential. Because having a community of guys that are also on the same journey with you is so beneficial for your progress. You'll never understand. As the old saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, have a tribe, have a team, have a overall community and clan that thinks on the same level, that understands all these topics, that's sharing different ideas. It truly is a magical thing when you actually get everybody's mind on the same frequency, on the same wavelength, and use it to catapult everyone's momentum towards becoming their highest self. So again, if you're interested in stuff like that, man, check out the links posted in the pinned comment of this video, because within there, you'll find links to our other services, whether that be one-on-one personalized coaching with me, one-on-one consultation calls, community Discord server, weekly newsletters, all that good stuff, pinned comment of this video. But like I was saying, all these different types of psychologists had their own frameworks of how to tap into the subconscious mind and understand what were those things that the inner child is still holding on to. Like, people hold on to grudges, you can hold on to insecurities like no other. And those insecurities speak volumes through your overall being. You overcompensate for something. The guy that's insecure about his confidence with girls is the guy that will be talking about, oh man, I fucked that bitch, I fucked her, yeah, you know what I mean, this and that, like, I got so many bodies, blah, 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 I got all these shorties, and like, that means you are insecure about something deep down within. Usually, 9 times out of 10, the psychology of a playboy or a fuckboy is due to the fact that they didn't get the attention, love, and overall energy from their mother. So guess what? They're looking for on external means through this woman, that woman, that woman. But it's futile, because that in itself is something that can only be accessed from within. The attention and love from yourself goes beyond even the attention and love from your mother, goes beyond the attention and love from your father, goes beyond all that stuff, because this is eternal. This is the self. This is the universe showing you love through you. And you are overcompensating that because you have not understood that through your psychological development to be able to tap into spirituality. Like I said before, psychology is a prerequisite for spirituality, just like Carl Jung knew, just like Sigmund Freud knew. Matter of fact, Carl Jung did all that psychological work throughout his own career within his midlife arc. And when he got into his later stages, with all that information, with that foundation, he got into all the spiritual, occult, esoteric, and ancient mysticism that he blended the two together within one of his greatest pieces of work, the Red Book. If you haven't read that yet, man, I don't recommend it off rip, off top, off the jump, but this is something that you should build up to, because that book is beautiful, man, beautiful. So many insights, so much wisdom within there. But like I said, it's a prerequisite for spirituality. Without the proper understanding of how this works, you're never going to understand how the spiritual affects the physical. Remember, the spiritual is the highest realm of reality. It is the plane of cause. The mind is the mediator in between the two that kind of emulsifies everything and allows that cause to transfer on over to the plane of effect, aka the physical. So in order to understand how to change this, the physical, through spiritual knowledge, you gotta first tap into the psyche, the mind. And this is one of the biggest revelations you'll get on this journey of uncovering your psychological framework, is that your inner child, not only, like I said before on this channel as well, there's a video about that, your inner child already knows your true purpose, but it also contains all the trauma, all the insecurities that you've just been hiding, that you've just been coping with, that has been causing your addictions. You wonder why you're addicted to this, you're addicted to that, you're addicted to that, and you can't seem to get up out of it. It's because you have not understood where they stem from. They stem from the inner child. They stem from those inner insecurities. So dig deep, use certain practices such as just look up active imagination. Again, if you want me to break it down for you, join the private Patreon community because we break that stuff down to the T. But if you don't want to actually invest into your overall improvement, which shows a lot about how far you'll go on this journey, just look up what active imagination is. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not telling you to go do psychedelics. I'm not telling you to go have a traumatic event. There's other ways to tap into that. And active imagination, for me personally, for a lot of people also that have been working with one-on-one, as well as people in the private Patreon community that I've discussed with, is one of the most potent ways to do that, because now you're dissolving that barrier in between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind, and you can finally go into the cave, the darkness of yourself, to understand where all these shit degenerate parts of you stem from. No human being on this earth is naturally, quote unquote, addicted to these degenerate like sources. The world just puts it out there for you because the world already knows the Maya, the Matrix illusion, that they want to keep you stuck within your lower level desires and your lower states of consciousness. And it does that by, of course, breaking up the family nucleus. So guess what? When you're growing up, the inner child is dealing with so many insecurities. And guess what? It gives you a tablet, an iPad, a phone, whatever it is, as you're growing up. And you start to build up those connections with the coping mechanisms. You see how other people are coping with their insecurities, and you follow that because your parents aren't there. They're both at work, 9 to 5s. You see how everything's played out? You think these people are not understanding of how to actually control people's mind, a hive mind, towards becoming machines, towards their actual agendas? This is deep stuff, man, and you're not gonna get this a lot of places because a lot of people aren't willing to go and understand the deep, dark truth about themselves as well as about the world. The more you understand about yourself, the more you understand about the world, aka we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. We are a small cell of the entire infinite organism that is the universe. So when you understand your inner world, the goodness and the bad, aka going beyond duality, there is no good, there is no bad, there just is, then you start to understand and perceive the truth of the non-dual nature of reality. No good nor bad. You just see the game for what it is, and now you can move and maneuver yourself properly along it. You're no longer going to be addicted to these types of things because you've addressed the root cause. You're no longer going to be plugging up the leak. Imagine you have a pipe of water and there's a leak, and all you do is just duct tape, duct tape, duct tape. You change the pipe in itself, there's no hole in it. There's no need for you to put any more duct tape. There's no need for you to do all this coping. There's no need for the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, the porn, the just overall habits that are gonna degrade of who you are. There's no need for that because you've replaced that addiction with your true addictions, aka your purpose. What your inner child was actually drawn to from young that made him or her, depending on who you are watching this, fully immersed into the moment. What was it things? Was it art? Was it music? Was it YouTube? Was it this? Was it sports? What fully made you present in the moment and made you feel like there's nothing else in the world there? That's your true purpose. That's what you need to be addicted to, because God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, does not make mistakes. It gave you all these abilities and these traits and these internal desires, not external desires, to do these types of things, because it's using you as a vessel to help elevate the consciousness of humanity in that way, shape, and form. That's what you need to be addicted to, but your insecurities are going to pull you away from that. Make you feel inadequate to be able to do that. Make you feel like you're not good enough. Make you feel like you're not the right person for that. And for you to deal with that, you don't deal with it head on. You just numb yourself. Everybody's living at a state as a zombie. That's what an NPC truly is. A zombie. living on autopilot mode. And being stuck within this autopilot mode is how you become a slave to the senses, which is easy to manipulate and guide towards whatever this society wants you to do. So in order for you to break out of that, you need to break these shackles, aka the addictions, holding you to that point. It's not gonna be easy, it's not gonna be simple. It's not gonna be something that's gonna happen overnight. But it's something that you must do in order to actually become your highest form, your highest potential, your highest overall capabilities. So really dive into that. Let this stuff marinate in your mind. Let it meditate upon your mind so you can understand what's the true calling you're supposed to be going towards and what are the actual causes of the addictions that are holding you back from it. Again, this is all going to be stemming from your inner child, and they're only going to be overcome when you go internally to yourself, not through these external means. You've tried that and you failed over and over and over and over again. Let's try something different. And I'm telling you right now, this is the last thing you need to try. When you actually understand it, everything will pan out for you. I promise you that. This is the truth of the matter. This is something I made up. This is not something that I just pulled out of my ass. This is something that is the truth. I'm just bringing it in my message and my way, shape, or form. Again, all the stuff that I talk about on this channel, on the main channel, on the private Patreon community with the people I work one-on-one with, during our consultation calls, whatever it is, are all tools for you to understand and actually access the answers that are already within you, the knowledge that's already within you, aka gnosis, divine wisdom that can only be accessed from within. Nothing what I'm telling you do is, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it, blah, blah, blah. This is just an overall framework. I'm giving you some tools. You got to go find that out for yourself. You got to find out those insecurities for yourself. You got to figure out how to actually overcome them. I'm giving you the tools to actually get you in the arena, get you in the game to make that happen. Without you actually being able to get in the game, how can you actually change your mind frame? You can't. You're always going to be outside of the game, watching it from the bench, watching it from the bleachers. And when you're on the bench, watching from the bleachers, whatever it is, you're never going to be able to actually understand what it takes to evolve. You're never going to understand what are the shackles holding you back from that evolution. Because now you've conformed and constrained yourself to being a bystander of your own life, rather than the one who's actually calling the shots. You're letting your addictions, you're letting your insecurities, you're letting society pull you in whatever direction they want. You're just unaware of it. Again, autopilot mode. You need these tools. You need to understand your psyche in order to connect to your spirit. You need to connect to your spirit in order to tap into your true essence and cause this physical vessel to operate in a way that's in alignment with your highest purpose for the time being while you're still here. Don't waste this incarnation on nonsense and being a slave to the senses and continually being stuck in this cycle of carnality, consumerism, and addiction. Like I've talked about before, this whole world is built off carnality and consumerism to make you stuck within the cycle of samsara. And addictions are just one of the main cogs within that. But you can break that cog, break that overall cycle in itself when you understand yourself from within, when you understand your inner child from within, when you understand the inner insecurities that you've just been neglecting. Unconsciously, you might be doing that unconsciously, you never knew about it. But maybe this finally clicked for you as you understand and you're picking up what the fuck I'm putting down. That's your way to finally break free from all this. Take off the shackles, take off the chains, and really fly and elevate. Instead of looking external for this, for that, drugs, alcohol, sex, blah, 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 blah. Money, cars, clothes, all the things, attention. You won't even need that stuff anymore. It's nothing. If it comes, it comes. If it goes your way, it goes your way. but now you're fully immersed within who you are, what you're supposed to do, and what it is that is your true purpose in life, and letting everything else fall into place. Letting all the chips go where they may. That's how you really should be living life. Not in a state of where you're stuck in a cycle of insecurities that stem from your inner child. You're over that, man. Fuck that shit, man. This is the last video you'll need to understand what it is that's causing your addictions. And again, you might need to go deeper by actually doing the practices that I kind of mentioned right here, by joining into the private Patreon community, by maybe booking a one-on-one consultation call, by hopping into the private personalized coaching program. You might need that, but I'm telling you right now, you got the tools and you got the understanding to how to do it. All you need to do is try it for yourself, and you'll see that all your addictions, when you put it out onto the whiteboard, they have one point right here. You trace it back to this, you trace it back, and funny enough, it'll all come back down to your inner child and its insecurities that is built up through your upbringing. And when you finally address it head on, internally, everything else vanishes, because that is the root cause. You don't need to address the symptoms when you address the root cause. Everything else vanishes. The whole stream of connection vanishes from that point. It's like clipping off the air. The tire, you don't need to slash a tire. You pop the air. Everything else is gonna deflate back to what it was. There's no more nonsense in your way. Let's get to the root cause, bro. Let's get to the root cause. Because I'm telling you, man, your inner child will always either help you elevate to who you are and show you and guide you to where you're supposed to go, or it's going to cause a hindrance because it's holding on to things, and those things that you're holding on to are like anchors, dead weight. And that dead weight only gets heavier and heavier and heavier the more you kind of fall yourself into those addictions that are supposed to be coping mechanisms to help deal with that. The more you rely on them, the more that the addiction, the grip of it gets stronger, and to the point where it becomes your identity. That's the last thing you want. Then you really need to take that fucking psychedelic trip or have a traumatic experience to really break through. But hey, man, let's prevent that before it even happens. I'm telling you, man, every video that I'm going to be kind of dropping within this channel, I'm going to be mentioning this. The people that watch this specific channel are more psychologically and spiritually mature than the rest. I'm not saying you guys are better than everyone, but you've been blessed in some way, shape, or form, maybe through your past lives, that you're able to be this developed, to be able to actually watch a video for this long and actually understand the message. Don't waste that. You could be that one beacon of light that breaks through all the addiction cycles by actually addressing the insecurities of their inner child that causes someone else to do it. And then that person causes someone else to do it, And funny enough, it's a domino effect which raises the collective consciousness of humanity from these dark ages, aka Kali Yuga, where carnality is high and spirituality is low, on over to the golden ages, the Renaissance, the new Renaissance that we are building as men on this road to self-mastery, and that will actually help us attain self-realization, who we truly are, what we were brought here to do. That's the ultimate goal, man. But you can't hit that ultimate goal if you're dragging all this dead weight with you. We don't got all the time in the world. You never know when it's your time to go. So when that time comes, you want to be prepared. You want to be living a life towards your true purpose. You want to be living a life in alignment to your true self. You can't do that if you're just carrying on all this dead weight. It's going to take too long. It's going to take too much energy. Let's cut off all the bullshit, the unnecessary things, and get right to the source and get right to the point and get right to our true self. But there it is, man. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains, and I'm out here. Peace.